Hello everyone, and welcome to MFL Total Access. Where's Willie when you need him, huh? What's up, Willie? Willie's in Miami, having some fun, trying to bump into Tyreek, Tua, maybe Jimmy Butler.
Trying to recruit Diop.
Yeah, trying to recruit Diop, Dalvin Cook. So first episode of the season without him, eh?
It's going to be a good one.
I feel it's going to be a lot shorter because we're going to agree a lot more on many things.
That's facts.
Couple of housekeeping items. I posted this week in the MFL Players chat a reminder of the playoff schedule. Unlike seasons past, this one's going to be set in stone. The reason for that is that there's way too many conflicts, and we're not going to go like on a preference basis to see, okay, we'll accept your conflict but not yours. This way, this schedule ensures no conflicts across any divisions, and I think that's what's the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like whether you're playing at 5 p.m. or at 9 a.m. that day, I think as long as all your players could potentially be there, we let all captains know this. I checked the email on May 5th, so like really ahead of time. Hopefully that was communicated to all players, and they'll work it out accordingly, whether it is with their personal lives and all that, for everyone to be there. So that's one change we did. Make sure you take a look at that. We're just past the midway part of the season now. Games played, make sure your players are on pace to get 5 games played. Injuries, right to the league. If anyone had like an injury for stuff like that, get your exceptions. You need a written exception by email for that. I think that covers almost everything I wanted to say.
Yeah. For me, this part of the season is where your captain has to come in clutch, has to make sure that you don't get into playoffs and you have like a big surprise that you wouldn't expect. So captains, make sure you put that hat on and make sure you have your players in check, because playoffs is coming really, really, really fast.
Yeah.
Really fast. Faster than you expected.
5 more weeks.
5 more weeks. With buys and everything, it's in a month and a half?
August 5th would be the first playoff date. So
like 6 weeks?
Yeah, pretty much.
Good.
Let's get right to it.
Yep.
What division would you like to start with?
Let's go 5.
5?
Let's go 5, 4,
That's what I had in mind.
Good.
I love it. Okay, so Division 5. I ref the Titans and Mimosa Crew game to start off. Shout out to, it was someone on Mimosa Crew, I believe it was Ilias the Rusher. Right before the first play of the game starts, the quarterback for Titans did not have his flags on, and he let him know so he could have time to go get them to not incur a penalty. So, instead of give him a shout out, so there's your shout out for that. But he also balled out in this game, getting 2 sacks, but constantly putting pressure. I believe at least one of the 2 picks on his defense, he tipped the ball.
That doesn't show on the stats.
No, it doesn't.
It should.
Well, it's hard. Like, even another thing that doesn't show is that like if 2 players get a pass defense, right? Yeah. Like, which one are you gonna input in the stats? Like, let's say one guy touches it and then the other guy hits it. Logically, you'd say probably the first.
Yeah, I'll go with the first one too.
But like when a rusher or any other player tips a ball and then it gets intercepted, you're gonna put in the last statistic, which was the interception, right?
That's a
good
point.
So it's tough. Like, I'm not sure what the NFL does for that. Like, I'm pretty sure I don't know if 2 people get a PD on the same play.
That's a good question.
Or like a PD and then that turns into a pick, right? But yeah, that's why like stats aren't everything, right? Like he had a pretty solid performance statistically with 2 sacks, but it was much more than that.
There's a lot of things that can happen in the game that stats don't show. I feel as a rusher, that's the most frustrating position, because a lot of time you can put a lot of pressure on the quarterback and you don't tip the ball, you don't get his flags, but you got there so fast that the quarterback just throws it away, and then your defense gets a pick, and then you don't have recognition for that on the paper. I feel like a really good defender that shoots a gap fast or takes away a read fast, and then the quarterback panics, he throws it the other side, and then your guy gets the pick, but he didn't get nothing on the field. So, you know the eye test? We talk a lot about eye tests in sports in general. I feel like flag is a sport where the eye tests come in play for a lot of situation, and I feel like in this game it happened a lot.
Definitely. And to start off the game, Mimosa Crew got the first point of the game, 6-0, with a rushing touchdown by Curran, but it was all Titans after that, and specifically Ben McMahon scoring on a 45 bomb on the first play after that touchdown.
Wow.
But it was more his defensive efforts, getting 3 picks. He was literally everywhere on that defense. Like Curran said, I know I have to avoid him, but I'm not throwing where he is, and he's ending up with the ball in his hands.
That's how fast he is.
Yeah, and he made like a crazy tiptoe catch interception on the sideline. So like Mimosa Crew did struggle in this one, but I think Titans had a sound game plan. And it was funny because when we did the midseason report cards, I kind of said that like Titans are the kind of team that are showing up and playing for fun, like as if they were playing in their backyard. Yeah. And they kind of like agreed with me for the most part. And they said, yeah, like it is true. But then during the game, like today we took it more seriously, and it clearly showed. Yeah. So if you guys keep playing like this, you'll be in a good spot come playoff time. Right now, they're on the outside looking in, half a game behind my ball Zach Ertz without that last playoff spot, sitting at 2-3. But yeah, definitely keep it up. Like the whole team played great, right? Like obviously Ben had that more like that star performance, especially on defense. But Robert at the quarterback was doing a good job at taking what the defense was giving him. He did a lot of check down passes to Biddle at the center position, right? Not complicating his life, just putting the ball into his playmakers' hands and letting them do the damage, right? He also has a great arm. Like on that 45 bump to Ben, like yes, Ben was past everybody, but Robert got the ball downfield like that, right?
I love when quarterbacks they put their mindset into that game plan where let me get the ball to my guys and let my guys make plays. Quarterback is a really tough position. That's where you put a lot of pressure on yourself, and playing that way allows you to take pressure off you and also get your guys involved because as a quarterback, you touch the ball every play. It could be hard for a receiver not to get as many targets. So a simple pass, let him try to break tackles, let him try to take it to the house. I feel like that's a good way to approach a game and get everybody involved.
And as much as the game was all Titans, like Mimosa Crew did have a few like standouts. Like Chad Walcott on defense he got a pick, but also 6 tackles. He was literally tackling everything. And Nikhil Sharma, we spoke about him before. He's clearly like current like best friend on this team as a receiver. Sure. Like their main guy, like he's 5 for 62 a touchdown. I don't think the stats do him justice because he made some difficult catches, and there was literally a drive I think where they scored where it was him making the catch on every play. Like
every time I see him make a catch, I feel like he's making a play.
Difficult,
it's always a difficult catch. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, good point. Good. So Titans getting a big win this week. You mentioned it. They're still outside looking in. Do you think they're going to be able to sneak in the playoffs with 5 games to go?
Look, if they play the way they played this past week, let me just look at their schedule real quick.
Because it's crazy. In the 5, there's 15 teams.
Yeah, and 8 make the playoffs.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we got a lot of newer teams, like experienced teams. Mm-hmm. It's nice to see that division have that many teams in the sense that it means that the league is growing, right? Yeah. It's kind of harder to make a playoffs with more than 8 teams. Like 15 was kind of our limit of like number of teams.
No, I agree. Yeah,
we didn't really feel that like we could have maybe pushed a team or two up to Division 4, but we rather make a mistake on a team too strong for the division than a team too weak for the division because it's not fun for anyone, especially when it's a newer team, right?
Yeah. No, but I like it. I like it this way.
It does make it difficult, right?
Yeah, it makes it difficult, but at the same time, every game during the season, like week 1 is important.
Yeah, especially since they're not all playing against each other, right?
Yeah, for sure. Like it's crazy from the division from the 4th to the 13th position. There's only 2 games separating them. Yeah, 2 wins separating them. Should I say? Yeah.
Will often hates on the MFL schedule, and there are some times where it's pretty ridiculous. Like Outlaws playing Controllers 3 times in a row.
Yeah, and Thunderbuddy's not playing for 6 weeks.
Yeah, but sometimes the schedule writes itself really well. So Titans' last game of the season comes up against my ball Zach Ertz.
Wow.
And I truly believe that game could be for that final playoff spot.
I like that.
But even besides that, they're playing against Legendaries, Weekend Warriors, Big Booties, Kiss My Pass, all teams who are right around fighting for that playoff spot, right? So there's no game that's out of reach for them. Yep. So I definitely think they could make the playoffs. If they show up with the roster they had this past weekend and they play similar to how they played last weekend, because Mimosa Crew are a great team, right? Like they're one of the better teams in the division. They were 5-1 before this defeat. I definitely think they could make the playoffs. Yeah.
Good. Kind of agree with that. I saw Titans play a couple of weeks ago. I found them really, really good on paper. For me, Ben is arguably top 5 fastest guy in the league. Yeah, we all know who's number 1, but then after that, you can make a case that Ben is right up there with those guys. So for him to play in that division with that kind of speed, for sure, like he's a player that could come in any game in Division 5 and really just take over. Yeah. On offense or on defense. That's exactly what he did last weekend. So yeah, I can see him do that for the rest of the season and maybe cause a couple of surprises in the playoff for sure.
Good. Next up, I didn't see any other D5 game, but I want to talk about Tropic Thunder Legendaries.
Go.
Legendaries getting their second win, but a crazy, mighty win. 46-18 against Tropic Thunder, who are one of the better teams in the division, right? Eduardo, for Tropic Thunder, great quarterback, having a pretty solid season, throwing 5 picks in this game. Really, like, I didn't see any of the game, but like just looking at the statistics, it's a head scratcher for me. And Ben Denis, who's like a rookie quarterback right now, going 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, only being super efficient, only getting 160 yards, but making it count, right? Like, he distributed the ball like you couldn't ask for better than that. 4 receptions, 5 receptions, 3 and 2 for his 5 receivers. 3 different players with a touchdown. Nick Eagley and Ben Mallette leading the way with 2 touchdowns each. Like, you can't ask for better. Like, this team is a new team. Yes, they have some experience, but like Ben, who's maybe one of their most experienced players, has 0 experience at the quarterback position. Yeah, it's really nice that this win for them must have felt like great.
But if I can add,
go ahead.
You said a couple of experience, and I agree with that. I really, really, really feel like Ben, who is a player in the league for a long time now. You're right, no experience whatsoever at quarterback, but still he knows what it takes to make the playoffs. I think he came into that game and he told his guys it's a must-win situation for us because it's the difference between being 2-4 like they are right now,
fighting for a playoff spot,
and not being 1-5, probably bottom 3 teams in the league. Yeah, like that was a big win for Legendaries for sure.
Also, he also rushed for 7 times for 85 yards and 2 touchdowns. So my bad when I said only 160 passing yards, because you add those 85 rushing yards, and he's a 245. That's a big performance for him. Yeah. 7 total touchdowns. Like anytime you get 7 touchdowns, I don't care if half of them are passing, receiving, pick sixes. It's impressive in any division in this league, right?
For sure.
So oh my God, he even got 2 picks on defense.
Wow. So he knew it was a big game this week for sure.
Yeah.
Wow. So Ben Denis adding a lot of great stats to his resume. We knew him as 7'11" already, but now he's doing it all across the field, on offense, on defense, throwing the ball. I'm not surprised. Ben is a student of the game. He loves to get better. He loves to learn. And I love to see him in that role where he leads a bunch of guys that never really played the game and try to bring them to the promising land. So, love to see that.
So looking at the D5 standings now, you got Sour Peeps, who are still undefeated. They beat Jungle Squad 20-6. You got no winless teams, so that's good.
Gotta say Sour Peeps that are undefeated right now, it's not an easy undefeated. I feel it's not like they're running over anybody they're facing. It's all great wins, but they're not blowing anybody out of the water, right? 21-12 first game, 21-7 second game, 35-29 third game, 46-19. That's a big win. 31-19 is also a big win, but 20-6. I feel like their defense is really, really strong.
It is.
And they're able to shut down the opposing team and take care of the ball. And when you do that, it's really a good recipe for wins. I don't feel like they're in the wrong division. I just feel like it's a team that's been playing together for 3-4 seasons maybe.
Yeah, a couple of seasons.
Couple of seasons now. So I just think that they're
hitting their stride.
Exactly,
it's clicking now.
Exactly, and for you, are they favorite right now to win the whole thing? Because you also have Bear Hood at 5-1. They haven't played against each other yet. They're not gonna play against each other. Yeah. But do you think they're favorite, Sour Peeps?
It's tough, right? Because them and Bear Hood, like Bear Hood is a team that some people say are too strong for Division 5, right? Like their one loss came when they were missing a bunch of players. They have Simon Valiquette at quarterback, who's pretty experienced quarterback now in the league. They won their last game 73-12. They're also showing no mercy to their opponents. Yeah. They have Conte on this team, who's arguably the best player in this division, or even like in Division 3 and lower, you can say. They have a few players who are new to the league, so they're taking advantage of that lower rating per se. Yeah. It's tough. Like I if I'm looking at the standings right now, and with recency bias, the way Mimosa Crew played this past weekend, because if you would ask me this a week ago, I would have said maybe it's a 1A, 1B, 1C type of conversation. Right now, I see the finals being Bear Hood and Sour Peeps, and it could go either way. Look, it's hard. Like this team is this division's gonna have 8 teams making the playoffs. that means you gotta win 3 playoff games. There's no first round bye for anyone, right? So unlike other divisions, you're not taking advantage of that, like only having to win 2 games and put a string of 2 good games together. Like even for the best teams in this league, having 3 great games in a row is not easy when you're playing against like the crop of the crop, right?
For sure.
So yeah, I'm going. Like if I had to say today, I think Bearhood's firepower may be a bit too much for Sour Creeps. But that's definitely the finals matchup I would see happening.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. Yeah. Bearhood, who had a bye week this weekend, but you mentioned it, 73 points. That's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of points. And you're like, they scored 8 touchdowns. Simon Valiquette, Quentin last week. They went 4 touchdowns each. They got 3, 5, 6 picks on defense. Yeah, it's hard to not pick Bearhood, but at the same time, I really like Sour Peeps because of the experience that they have. Because like the amount of years, seasons that they've been playing together. Bearhood, I feel like if I come into a game against Bearhood, I know I have to shut down Quentin, right?
Yeah.
I know that I have to let Simon throw the ball elsewhere, so it's like I'm not gonna say it's easy to do, but it's an easy game plan to have. It's not a complicated game plan to know what you have to do. It's another thing to actually be able to do it. So yeah, I'll can't wait to. It would be something though for them to face each other only in the final.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. I'd be looking forward to that.
I mean, it happens often in the NFL that the AFC champ does not play the AFC champ in the season, so
for sure,
could be cool.
Yep.
Division 4 now.
Yep, I'm ready for that.
So you weren't there this past weekend, right? For any, you didn't see many.
No. I only played one game and I left.
The only game I saw was the one I was involved in, Black Diamonds Drama Club.
And yeah, you threw that. Yeah. I looked at the end of that game. Yeah, how was it?
So my first impression was that like both these teams have had a better record than they have. Like Drama Club is a much better team than they were 1-4 coming into that game. We know they have a ton of experience, and they're a very disciplined team. Like from my perspective in that game, it was a hard team to throw against. Like, it was a hard team to throw over the top against. Every yard was fought for, right? And from the Black Diamond side of things, they have like great players across the board. Like it's difficult to think that they're still winless. We're gonna try to change this now going into with the last 4 games of the season. 4 or 5 they have. 5 games left. So with the last 5 games, we're gonna try to change that. Simon is like an experienced quarterback. Look, he went 22 for 30, 160 yards, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I think at least one of those 2 interceptions was a tip ball, like a little tip drill, like 3 different players tipped it in the air.
Really unlucky play.
Yeah, like it was not on him. Like only 8 incompletions in this game. Like he's a very smart quarterback and a great player.
When he's on, he's on. When he takes care of the ball, he knows what he has to do. Didn't rush much in that game though. Who was rushing him?
Our rusher was Jiangsu.
Okay.
He rushed pretty well. He got 2 big sacks in key moments.
Yeah, because usually Simon likes to use his legs to like.
Yeah, a little like you wouldn't think.
No.
But it's Roxanne rushed me really well. She got me 3 times. Remy, I thought I had him bait on the first play of the game, throwing a deep ball, and
that's a classic science teacher. Remember when we talked about that? Me and Willie, he looks like a legit science teacher. You think you can throw over him, and then he disappears and reappears where the ball is. He was clearly
showing he was playing the 1, and it's not an excuse, but like that the field is so much more narrower than an FPF. So like that first play I threw it, I'm like, oh my god, like he obviously has time to get there. And he not only got there, he picked it off, and then I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna do that again.
You learn.
But look, like you look at the guys I threw the ball to. Yes, Michael, Rob, and David had crazy games with 6, 7, 7 catches.
Yeah.
But like I try to get everyone involved as much as I can. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different players touching.
Yeah.
I think that means everyone touched the ball at least once.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of these guys. Even at the end of the game, I didn't know half of their names. Yeah. So I feel like there's no pretty loss or moral victories, but like for me, this was like week 1, right, with this team, where it was week 7 in the MFL season. I'm glad I got most people involved, and like I think we could have an optimistic last 5 games. Like I'm shocked this team was winless, right? I know they had roster inconsistencies, players missing. There were a lot of guys on vacation and stuff like that. I show up where roster are 9 people now. So that was great.
Yeah. I think people were excited to play with you.
Maybe, I don't know if they knew, but Yeah, so the biggest thing that stood out for me was like these two teams are like non-playoff teams. That just goes to show how tough Division 4 is, right?
Yeah.
Drama Club put themselves in a good position with this win, 2-4, sitting in the 9th seed right now. Airborne also got their first victory this past weekend, so we can talk a little bit about that. Beating Sooners 45. Diego was not there.
Yeah, that's a big piece for me. Diego could arguably be the MVP of this season. Like when he's playing for Sooners and he's throwing for Sooners and he's running for Sooners, they're a lot better for sure. He also has that connection with his brothers and then his dad on the field.
Look, Airborne scored 6 points on offense and passed for 66 total yards.
And they still found a way to win.
And they found a way to win because they got 2 pick sixes by David and Trevor on defense. Sooners 45 turned the ball over 4 times, and Airborne made them pay for it. This loss was not as impactful for Sooners as it was for Airborne. Kind of like how you said it for who was the team that won in Division 5 that we said?
It is Ben Denis, so it's...
Yeah, the Legendaries.
Legendaries,
So like this kind of like gave Airborne some life, right? Like sitting at 1-4, they're just 1 game outside the playoffs right now.
Mm-hmm. The defense stepping up big time with 2 pick sixes, like you mentioned. But yeah, when like it's crazy to me though, because even though they got 2, 3, 4, 5 picks and 12 points by their defense, they only were able to win by 2 points.
Yeah, because they got a lot of short fields in that game.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, a must win for Airborne. We spoke about them a couple of weeks ago, asking ourselves if they were able to turn their season around and make the playoffs. It's a step in the right direction. Still a long way to go though. 5 games left to their season. They're playing
Drama Club next week, so it's a very winnable game for both teams, right? Like, yeah, I think they're like one team's gonna knock the other one out of the playoff
for sure
race at that point, right? So
yeah, I agree with that. And after that, they have Black Diamonds, who's also a team that they're able to win against. Then the Villain Super Friends is 2 games that are not easy, but they're ending the season against Cyclones, and that really could be a game like a win and get in type of situation.
Cyclones quarterback is by then.
Yeah, they're probably gonna change like 6 times until week 11. But Airborne not out of it yet. A big win after starting 0-4 in this season. They have 2 winnable games coming up. I think it's going to be really important for them to go 2 wins, 0 losses in those 2 games. So we're going to look at that for sure in the close-up. And did they play without Baby Bernard?
No, he was there.
He was there, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, Baby Bernard, the same way we
throw him the damn ball.
Throw
him the damn ball.
Yeah, for sure. Throw him the damn ball. Like the same way I said about Ben, he could come in the Division 5 game and just take over. I feel like Baby Bernard, that's how he should come in those games and just say to his dad, "Give me the damn ball."
Yeah.
The same way Willie tells his dad to give him the damn ball. I think Baby Bernard should do the same thing. He is the best player on that team. If he wants to extend that season for his players, I think he needs to step up big time and demand for the ball. Big time players do that in big time moments.
Yeah.
Don't do that every 2 plays because you won't be a good teammate once. But it happened in higher division, and we're gonna talk about it. But when you're a big time player and you come in the huddle and you ask for a certain route and you ask for a certain play in the right moment, trust me, no one's gonna question you.
Yeah.
Because people believe in you, and if they see that you believe in yourself the same way, like.
We gotta come up clutch after. Like, there's
you have
no choice.
For sure, but I really believe Baby Bernard is that type of player, and he can come up clutch in those situations. So don't shy away from the moment, and then make sure you demand for the ball.
Yeah. Binlow Fat Super Friends. It happened at the same time as my game, so I didn't really catch much of it. But looking at the stats real quick, and I think Kevin ref this game, so he'll probably go more into detail with it in his article. Like Thomas Côté-Parent and Alex Morin was like one All-Star against another All-Star who could do better. 7 receptions for each of them. Thomas going for a 111, 2 touchdowns, 2 1-point converts. Alex Morin 119 and 2 touchdowns, almost identical stats in this game. 2 complete ballers, maybe 2 of the better players overall on both sides of the ball in this division.
Not only in the division, in the league for sure.
So this was a tight game by two of the top teams. Bin Low Fat taking a 26-13 halftime lead and then winning 33-26. Yeah, I just wanted to shout out Thomas and Alex in this game because I looked at the stats real quickly and I saw they both balled the heck out. But look into Kevin's article hopefully for a bit more analysis.
Yeah, for sure. Thomas adding.
Yeah, he's running away with it, eh?
Yeah, he's running away with it. I think we can give him the receiver of the year right now. It's going to be said and done for sure for me. 12 touchdowns already in 6 games. He's averaging 2 touchdowns a game. That's his average.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And he also has 4 1-point convert with 39 receptions in 6 games. Quick math, that's how many receptions a game?
How many, 29?
39 receptions in 6 games.
It's over 6 a game.
That's like... He's averaging 6 receptions, 2 touchdowns a game, and almost a 1-point convert. It's that guy is a Division 1 player for sure.
And to make the transition to Division 3 now, Thomas Cote-Parent is also leading Division 3 in receiving yards. Not quite in touchdowns, but he has 534 yards in 6 games.
Wow.
Receiving, yeah.
Yeah, someone's going to snatch him for Division 2 pretty soon.
Sure. He's a complete receiver, right?
Mm-hmm.
His game against... been playing against Red Cats in Division 3.
Mm-hmm.
Red Cats now 1 game losing streak, extend that to 2 games now. Avery threw for over 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, only 1 interception. I didn't catch much of this game, but David Michaud had a much cleaner game, 5 touchdowns, 0 picks. Thomas, the main guy, 6 for 75. Jeff Roland Leclerc, the Bin Low Fat quarterback, getting 2 touchdowns this game. William also getting 2 touchdowns. Mathieu getting the 5th touchdown. Yeah, our Red Cats starting to slide because prior to their first loss against Double Dippers that they got spanked, they were like one of my favorites, right?
Yeah, I think it's just a rough patch for them right now. They're still second in the division. They're 4-2 right now. They still have one of the best offense in the league, if I'm not mistaken. If I'll be able to turn my phone right now. So yeah, Red Cats, they have one of the best defense in the league, should I say. They only have a differential of minus 9. It's a tough patch.
Yeah, that's tough, yeah. Well, there's a few teams in the top that have a negative differential there, right?
Yeah. It just shows that the division is really, really, really tight and strong. They have a really tough game against Average Joe's coming up next week.
I mean, look, that's 1 against 2, right? That's their... Like that, I think that's perfect for them right now. Coming off that 2-game losing streak where we're actually maybe starting to doubt them.
I agree.
Is their opportunity to show us, shut up.
Yeah.
We deserve to be top 2, top 3 in the league.
Yeah.
Average Joe 6-0.
Because we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, and we all agreed that if there's one team that could beat Average Joe's in the division, like we agreed that no team could beat Average Joe's. They could easily go 10-0, but if we had to pick one, it'd be Cats. I don't know what.
Red Cats.
Red Cats. So yeah, like you said, two games now that they lost, and they lost big. It'd be a perfect statement for them.
Yeah.
Put them back on the hunt for first in the division, and also like shaking things up and telling Average Joe that season won't be as easy as they think it would be. So yeah. I think I might use that game for my bold prediction later on.
Looking at the standings Division 3 now, I know there's still like a lot of teams have only played 5 games. Do you see the playoff teams changing? It's hard to make an argument for any of the 3 non-playoff teams that are going to make it in, right?
Yeah, especially when you're 2 games out already.
Like Arnos have a huge game coming up against Pocket Rockets. Deux Molas are playing Bins. That must be the biggest one, right? If they win that one, they're just 1 game, like half a game. They'll be 2-4, 3-4. Yeah, they'll be 1 game behind them.
If I had to pick, if I had to bet my money, I'd say that the 7 teams in the playoff right now are staying the same.
I would think so as well.
But let's say we don't have that option.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say we have to pick a team from the outside looking in.
Look,
who's getting in and who's getting knocked out also?
Yeah, it's a good question. Without looking at the schedule, I was going to probably say Arnold's, but they're playing Pocket Rockets twice and Mustard Tigers twice and Red Cats. That's like a super tough schedule.
Mm-hmm. What about Dewey?
Dewey?
I think they also have a tough schedule.
Bin, Red Cats, Phoenix, Raw Sauce, Double Dippers. Yeah, they're tough.
There's no easy games in that division.
Yeah. I guess the non-playoff teams are not playing against each other. Well, like Phoenix have a game against Dewey, Average Joe's double. Yeah. Wow, it's tough. I think I'm gonna go with Arnold just based on the fact that Jason joined this team late at the quarterback position, and he's getting better every week, connecting with his players more and more. I don't know. It's just a gut feeling. I don't think they would, but if one team were to do it, it would be
Iron Wolves. I agree with you.
And then the team that would be out, it's tough as well. Let me look at this team schedule quick.
I'm going to go with Pocket Rockets.
Pocket Rockets, really?
Yes, because Pocket Rockets are playing Iron Wolves twice.
Yeah, so that would make sense logically.
Yeah, they're getting 2 losses. They only have 1 win in their last 4 games. Having a tough stretch of games right now. I think Iron Wolves can pull the upset.
And that win came against Phoenix. Does it really count at that point?
It doesn't really count exactly. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go Pocket Rockets out of the playoffs and Iron Wolves coming in clutch in the last weeks.
I genuinely thought Pocket Rockets would have a chance to beat the Joes this past weekend. Like, I picked Pocket Rockets to win that game, and boy, was it not even close.
No.
Obviously, a lot of players, Pocket Rockets didn't show up physically on that field. I think we'll be the first one to tell you that it was probably not one of his best games. You need your best players to be at their very best and more.
You put that lightly, huh?
Yeah, some people are going to say I'm going to be harsh with him, but
because that's not what you told me at the field. You said Willie sucked. Willie was so bad.
The poor guy's not here to defend himself, but like he says, one of his key expressions: "Call a spade a spade." you know, he says, "I like to call a spade a spade." Like at least 2 or 3 of the touchdowns, 2 for sure that I have in my mind, went literally over his head like by this much, and
wow.
he just misjudged it or he missed it, and they went for a touchdown the other way. Simon Valiquette could thank Willie for giving him an interception in and out of his hands, into the hands of Simon. It wasn't an easy pick though, because Simon got those tippy toes in at the side. Simon played. There were only 6 average Joes, so Simon Valiquette and Jason played defense the whole game. If I tell you that,
are you serious?
If I tell you average Joes won by 23 by being only 6 players, and Simon Valiquette and Jason who could play defense, right?
No,
but are not their key defensive players.
They're not known for being defensive players,
especially on this loaded average Joe's team.
Yeah.
They played the whole game, and Simon had 2 picks in this game.
Wow. But Simon is known to get those low key interceptions.
Yeah, you could cuff Simon with strap on Willie.
He
strapped Willie up.
He strapped Willie
even
up.
on a fly route or it was a seam straight through route, just outside the red zone. I think Simon played him in man, and Simon tipped that ball.
Willie, what are you doing?
I'm not even kidding.
Well, it's no disrespect to Simon, by the way. Simon is a really low key, underrated defensive player. I played with him with Thunder Buddies on defense, and sometimes he'd get out of remember, I think it was last season, he was averaging a pick a game for the first 5 games of the season. Simon is low key a really good defender, but still, Willie is Willie, right? Willie is known as one of the best receivers in the league. Not that day with 2 receptions, 17 yards for sure. But wow, average Joes. I'm gonna throw them some flowers because I've been shitting on them for the past 3 months. Winning that game with only 7 players. They're just 6 players. It's impressive. It's really, really impressive.
The way they won it, especially.
Yeah, Jason being able to throw 6 touchdowns, no interceptions, 22 for 32, over 200 yards, playing both ways. Sometimes for a quarterback, it's really good for you to sit down while your team is on defense, to take being able to breathe in, breathe out, think about your next drive. He didn't have.
He was rushing all game too.
Wow. So yeah, big ups to Jason. I say it as it is, right? If you're gonna ball out the way you did last weekend, I'm gonna throw your flowers. If you want to be an asshole, I'm gonna say that you're an asshole. So, good thing, Jason. He didn't call a timeout with 30 seconds left.
No.
Nice job, Jason.
Yeah.
You're going into the right direction. But
they even scored at the end of the game, and I think Mike asked to call the game, and they were allowed to do the convert if they wanted to and call it after. He's like, no, it's okay.
Jason, I'm so proud of you. Good stuff.
What was I going to say? Yeah, just to add to the Willie and Simon thing, Simon had as many catches on defense than Willie had on offense.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Geoffroy is the one that balled out for this team. When I said 2 balls right over his head, two of those touchdowns were to Geoffroy. 4 catches, every single catch was a touchdown pass. 66 yards. Ryan McSweeney also balled down in this game, getting 3 interceptions. 76 yards on offense, a touchdown.
Wow. Geoffroy is the main guy for Jason though, huh? All season.
Yeah,
he has 11 touchdowns in 6 games.
Yeah, he's a baller.
He's a baller. He leads his team in yards. He's right up there in receptions. He's second in reception, right behind Ryan Flood.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we spoke about average Joes a lot in the past episodes. We're gonna say it again. You better not choke. Okay, I have a question for you.
Wait, before we actually want to keep analyzing this game a little bit more.
Yeah,
because don't try not to forget your question.
Okay.
So like, as impressive as Jason was, he threw for 10 incompletions, but I could have sworn like his completion percentage was probably like 50%. Like it seemed that early in the game, like he's literally, for every horrible pass he throws a beautiful pass. Like those 4 touchdowns to Geoffroy were insane. Like literally right over Willie's head, right in the basket. But then like a 5-yard out route, he's throwing it like not even past line of scrimmage. Yeah. And I'm like, how can he be so good and still make like literally those are the kind of passes like he was making when he first started throwing, and like he'd throw like many interceptions, but like he's gotten so much like 0 interceptions in this game when you have guys like Leo, Phil, and Will like manning up like that defense for Pocket Rockets and throwing 0 picks. Like Pocket Rockets are a hard team to throw against, especially on paper when you look at it. So like going 22 for 32 is insane. Next up, I want to talk about Pio because Pio obviously struggled in this game. He threw for almost 300 yards, but those 6 interceptions. And Willie told me before the game, if we win this game, we need to like Average Joes have one of the best offenses. It's our defense that needs to step up. Sure. Obviously, the offense needs to score more than 17 points, but our defense needs to step up. And it's Average Joe's defense that stepped up, right, in this game and not the Pocket Rockets. But seriously, anytime Pio needed a play that he actually converted on, it was to Leo. Like, Leo and Pio have such a great connection. Like, I can only count on like one hand better quarterback to receiver connections. I know that you want to distribute the ball and get everyone involved, but literally, if you have to throw like 20 targets to Leo at this point to like save your season and turn it around, do it. Like, I don't think anyone on the team is going to be like, no, like, yes, you're trying to create chemistry with other guys, but on paper, Pocket Rockets are literally probably like the most talented team in the division. Like,
I agree.
I think on paper, they're just as talented, if not better than Average Joe's.
Yeah. I 1000% agree.
So, and like, Leo is a baller. Like, especially like last week, he had 5 touchdowns. This week, 6 for 104. Phil also balled out 8 for 91. But like, if you gotta throw 15 balls to Leo at this point, like, I don't think many people on the team are gonna complain. Like, if that's what it takes to beat a team like Average Joe's, try it and do it. Because like, I know Pio's dealing with a few injuries here and there too. He's not 100% healthy right now, but throwing 6 interceptions against this defense that only had 6 players, you should have put up more than 17 points, and I think he's the first one to know that.
Yeah, it's ludicrous. Yeah. But like, look at this. His receiving core, right? He has Leo, Phillip, Will, and Baby Bernard.
Yeah.
Okay, for you right now, without knocking anybody out, who's your like? Rank me those guys.
Or like for Pio, or like just me in general.
In general.
I gotta go Will 1, Leo 2, and then probably Phil 3 and Baby Bernard 4. But like, those 4 guys could be like number 1 on any team in that division.
For sure.
Like, it's no knock on anyone that knocked after anyone,
for
right?
Sure. I maybe have like a preference to Baby Menard because I really like his style and I see his potential. So for me, it's Will, Baby Menard, Leo, and then Phil. In stats, you have Leo first, Phil second. Yeah. You have Will, and then you have Baby Menard.
Yeah.
So like,
well, it is his first season with Will, and he's played with Phil and
for
Leo
sure.
for longer, so it makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. But it just like, I'm just adding stuff to your argument where Pio and Leo, the connection is crazy.
And you give me Will for a season. If I had guys for 5 years, Will's going to lead my team.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, for sure. But yes, Leo and I feel like the first time they got into this the league, Pio and Leo, they got like been together since day one, right?
Leo's Pio's uncle.
I didn't know that. Are you serious?
Yes.
Leo is Pio's uncle?
Yes.
How old is Leo?
Well,
or how young is Pio?
I have no idea, but if I had to guess, Pio was probably like in his early 20s and Leo's probably in his mid 30s, I'd say. Maybe early 30s, I don't know.
Really?
Like, yeah. Like, maybe...
Oh, so they have that family connection.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it's... I
didn't know that.
I think it's Pio's mom is Leo's sister. But who knows, like, I have a sister that's 16 years younger than me, so maybe Leo's like... maybe Leo's sister's much, much older, right? Who knows?
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Leo is Pio's uncle.
That's why. Okay. So they can like talk telepathically and shit. Okay, I get that now. All right. But yeah, Pio, like we said, if you have to throw the ball to your uncle on every down for you to win the game, do it. You're at this, like, because if you don't do that, I really think that Aaron Rolls are going to knock you out of the playoff spot and take your place.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be that bad, but like, if this team make the playoffs, it has to be like there's 10 teams, only 3 don't make the playoffs. If this team does not make the playoffs, it has to be the biggest
crazy. Yeah, it'd be crazy. So my question.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
What's most likely to happen?
Okay.
Average Joe's winning the whole thing, or Average Joe's choking the playoffs?
Like, okay, as much as we hate on Average Joe, that probably gonna choke and all that, and that they've done it in the past, it's like extremely difficult to go 10-0 and win out. Like, yes,
I know that's not that's
like the
why
target's on your back. Yeah,
that's why I didn't add the 10-0 part. Just winning the whole chip.
Yeah.
Because going 10-0 and then winning, it's really really hard. There's not a lot of teams that can do it. But let's say they go 6-4, they're still gonna make the playoff. They're still gonna be favored if they go 6-4. My point is, what's most likely to happen? Them winning everything or them choking the playoffs?
Look, if you ask me this question and it's Team A and there's no logo and nothing, I'd say 100% sure this team is like by far the team to beat, the most talented. What are they averaging now? I don't know if they've ever scored not 40 points. Averaging 45 points a game.
I'm sorry.
Everything what?
I said they're averaging Joes. I'm sorry about that.
That's not bad. And 18 points against. No, I'm going to say, like, I ref this team, and Pocket Rockets probably have one of the better defenses in this league, and they demolished them. So, like, right now I do think that it's more likely that Average Joes win the D3 championship. Even though they have that choking pedigree around them, I still think it's more likely they win the championship. Like, it's going to take a lot for them to not win the championship.
I agree. They have a differential of 155, Terry.
Look, with
155.
With Red Cats losing again, they have 2 games up on that first place, and one team's getting a bye. That means they only have to win 2 playoff games. Yeah. I think Jason could have 2 mediocre games and still win
for sure.
the championship. 3 might be tight, but right now, I'd be shocked if they don't get the 1, if they don't end the season with the 1 seed.
That's perfect. That's exactly what the league wants to. The league needs that to happen because the league needs Average Joes to go Division 2.
I mean, even if this team would go 6-4 right now and not make the playoffs, it's a Division 2 roster in my mind, right? Like,
yeah, but they won't make the switch unless they win Division 3 championship.
Yeah, well, if they go 10-0 and they lose in the first round, they're still going in Division 2 after. And if they don't, like, what are they playing for, right? Like,
so Average Joes better make it happen this year. It's either this year or no year, basically.
Yeah,
but I agree with you. It's most likely for them to win the championship.
Look, if Average Joes were in Division 2 this season, they might not have won many games, but I believe that Jason would be a better quarterback at this point in the season than he would be. Because right now he's literally throwing with his eyes closed, with his left hand, and scoring like 40 bombs, right? Like, he's not improving that much. His confidence is going up. The team chemistry is probably helping, but he hasn't really had a tough challenge. And it's in defeat that I feel you become
for
better,
sure,
right? Like, if he has like his 4 key plays that are always working against anyone he plays against, and they're always working, he's not going to get better because he'll never know how to counter a defense that actually adjusts those plays.
I agree.
So,
but I don't agree with the fact that they're not going to win a lot. They wouldn't win a lot of games in Division 2.
Well,
I think
they could have won games. I'm not saying they wouldn't have won any games, but like I would have been. I'd be shocked to see if they would have been a 500 team in Division 2. I'd give them a couple of wins, a handful of wins, but not more than 4 on the season for them.
I don't know. For me, they're better than Spritz Gang. They're better than Pocket Rockets. They're better than Marbles.
Okay, and then that, depending on what conference they went in, would be at least 4 wins.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So, better make it happen this year.
Yeah.
Because you're going D2 next year.
Yeah.
But next year. We're talking about next year. We're
fall.
going D2 in like a couple of weeks. So, it's now or never.
So, Division 2 now.
Yep.
Man, Master Chiefs cannot beat Idaho.
Master Chiefs cannot win a close game.
No, but forget about that. Like, I think it's been like 27 games in a row that they lost to Idaho.
Are you serious? Not that much, but I get what you're saying.
And like the first 20 were with Will at quarterback. We thought it was Will's fault. But like I think everyone picked for Idaho except for me. I picked Master Chiefs, and Mike wrote to me. He's like, "You actually picked us? What about them?" I'm like, "You guys have to win at some point." Like, Idaho are still dealing with a few injuries. Master Chiefs have been playing great. Like Master Chiefs right now, I think they have one win, but they're averaging 40 points a game. They're literally averaging 40 freaking points a game.
I know.
And they have I can't see their differential. I think they're +2.
They're +2. Exactly, they're +2.
They're +2 in after 4 games, and they're 1-4.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Like, the team just above them in the standings are the Marvels. They're -56. Pocket Rockets are last place of the playoffs. They're -47. And you have Spritz Gangs sitting at 5th in the division. They're -1.
Yeah.
They're +2 at 1-4. They're not able to win a close game.
Yeah. And look, they Ashton ball down this game, 8 for 121, 4 touchdowns. Oh, wait, 7 touchdowns, 340 yards. He threw 3 picks, but Brady also threw 2 picks, right? Kyle Daniels, 11 receptions, 67 yards, 2 touchdowns. Marvin, 6 for 89 and 2 touchdowns. Manu getting 2 touchdowns as well, and 2 2-point converts. Converts were the difference in this game, basically, right? Each team scored 7 touchdowns. Massachusetts had 1 2-point convert. Idaho had 3 2-point converts, right?
Wow.
Massachusetts were up 4 points with just under 2 minutes. Brady scores pass to Manu for 1 yard touchdown, gets a 2-point convert to go up 4. And then it looks like Massachusetts were able to drive the field, but couldn't get it done, right?
Yeah, they were able to get to midfield at least because they got 10, 15, and then 14. Yeah, they got to like 29 yards.
Yeah, well, Manu had 3 picks in this game.
Wow. He went strap. Huh?
Yeah, Manu went strap.
Wow.
Strap.
He went strap. Wow. But yeah, okay, so another type of question.
Yeah.
Master Chiefs, what is more likely to happen? Them going undefeated for the rest of the season, or them missing the playoffs?
Well, I think it's more likely they miss playoffs. It's incredibly in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't think they're going to go to 6.
Yeah, but they're
playing Spritz Gang twice. They're playing Marvels.
Exactly.
They're playing Yagerball. They're playing Thunder Buddies. Yeah, given their schedule, they could easily
go undefeated.
4 and 2
Yeah.
in those last 6 games. Like, there's no question in my mind Master Chiefs are finishing with at least 5 wins, even though they're only at 1 win right now. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, they have 5 games left. Sorry, 3. They're at least going to go 3 and 2 in those last 5 games.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't see them losing to Spritz Gang or Marvels given the number of points they're putting up right now.
But at the same time, like,
they're playing better teams and putting up this many points. Like if Massachusetts put up 40 points against like Thunder Buddies in Idaho, they could put up 60 against Spritz Gang and Marvels, no?
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they put up like 70 even. That's crazy to me.
So
It's crazy to me that you score 53 points in week 2 and you still lose the game.
yeah. You can't really ask for your offense to do much better, right? Like it's clearly
sure.
like the defense, and like it's like all the offenses are great in this division, but it's crazy that their defense is giving up that many points. Like
They have the 3rd worst defense in the league.
it's surprising it's not the worst, right? Like
Yeah, Pocket Rockets are the first, and then you have Idaho with 206 points allowed, and then you have Master Chiefs with 200.
wait, how many do the Pocket Rockets have points?
225.
Okay. They have 1 more game though played, so
Yeah.
Their average is less than Master Chiefs.
Yeah, okay, so Master Chiefs are second.
Who's
Even then, no. 'Cause
yeah, they have the worst average.
Yeah, they have the worst average. Yeah, no, you're right. My bad. Master Chiefs have the worst defense in the league. Wow. So yeah, we gotta step it up on D, because yes, it's fun to put up points and it's fun to put up 50 points, but if you allow 60, you haven't done much.
I don't know what it is. Like, yeah. Are we not giving Niceties enough credit for the season they're having so far? Because I honestly feel we're not talking about how strong they are right now. Like they beat Pocket Rockets 36-14. They're 5-1. Their only loss came against Marvels when they were missing a few other top players in this game. The next 2 games are against Spritz Gang and Marvels. They close out the season against Jagerbomb and Thunder Buddies. And to me, I think when Will asked me the question preseason, who's like my top 3, I said Thunder Buddies, Jagerbomb, and ICDs, and I think I had ICDs either 2 or 3. I think maybe I had them 2 preseason because they had beaten Jagerbomb in the playoffs last year, but I did not think they'd be sitting at top of the division at this point in the season. Obviously, I thought they'd be the top 3, but and not been having this much of a dominant season, right? Like I feel it's been like they're a quiet number 1 seed, right?
And it's crazy that they're quiet with Chris and Andrew in their team, right?
Yeah, but you know what I mean?
I agree with you 100%. It's been a quiet 5-1. It's been a quiet. We're first, and we didn't really have trouble against anybody. Like they won a tie game against the Jagerbomb, but they were up to put 41 against a really good defense. They lost against Marvel, like you said, but they were missing a bunch of guys. They beat Master Chiefs by 6 points. They're able to win those close games. They won by 1 against Idaho. For me, it's more impressive when a team wins tight games than when when a team wins like blowouts.
Yeah,
because in playoffs, come playoff time,
almost all the games are tight.
Exactly, you will never see a blowout, and that's maybe the reason why Average Joe's been struggling so much in the past season, because they've been blowing everybody out. Exactly, and then they come in the playoff, and then it's a tight game. You've never been in that situation
conference
before.
Are so important at that point. Exactly. When you're at 20, you don't care. You get the conference. You're probably going to try a new player, give the ball to someone. And
exactly. So I'm a lot more scared of a team that won their game by like less than a position than a team that blows out everybody by 40, because they've been there before. They know what it takes to win. So like, it's really hard to make an argument against Nice TDs for them to be the favorites in the division right now. It's like, I know Thunder Buddies haven't played in like 6 months, and Idaho they won 2 crazy games against Master Chiefs, but still Idaho dropped 2 games and 1 against Spirit Chance.
Yeah, well, it was like their IR team that played that one, I think.
Okay, yeah, but they still lost against Nice TDs, the team that we have like that were.
What was the final score of that game?
They lost by 1 point, 34-33, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
33-32 for Nice TDs. So our Nice TDs favorites right now, like today.
Like looking at their roster, their statistics, they're very top heavy. When you look at like their player stats, they got Christian, Andrew, and Chris, the 3-headed monster, who are each over 300 yards in the season. But then you look at like their secondary scoring, and Brian, Sean, and Nico, and like Sean Haney, who's like a D1, currently playing D1, and Brian and Nico have been playing this league for so long. Like that's a solid like 3 after your top 3 to have, right?
Oh, for sure. Especially Haney in a red zone where he has 6 touchdowns in 5 games. No, for
more than half his catches have gone for touchdowns.
I know. Yeah. And even Nico, he has 12 receptions, 4 touchdowns. On defense, Nico's leading the team in tackle, and it's not even close. Then you have Chris, you have Benjamin, you have Christian, you have Andrew, you have Sean. That's a really good defense. Yeah. With Chris calling D also, you have DeMario that can come in. He can rush. He could play CB. He could play safety. He could play linebacker. We tend to like forget about DeMario because he's so quiet. He doesn't make a lot of noise. Yeah. But he's arguably the best. He's arguably the best quarterback in the division right now, with Steve and maybe Simon when he has his breakfast in the morning. So with Brady too.
What did you say about the breakfast?
You didn't hear that question? That question. You didn't hear that story?
What was it again?
Jagerbomb, they lost.
Yes. When they lost.
He didn't sleep in like the past 48 hours, and he didn't have breakfast that morning.
Yeah, that was like the one they lost against.
I think it was against Pocket Rockets.
Yeah, because we were saying we didn't understand how they lost that game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then Jeff told me it's because Simon didn't have his breakfast.
Yeah.
But like look at Simon. He's been away for so long now. I think he's coming back soon. He's gonna have time to like get his team back in the groove and like chemistry wise and everything. But for me, Nice TDs are the team to beat right now, and the only team that I can see them having trouble against. They're only going to play them last game of the season in week 12, right, against Thunder Buddies. So
Jagerbomb too, they could have.
Yeah, but they already beat Jagerbomb. They already beat Idaho. They already beat Master Chiefs.
Yeah.
The only top dog they're missing right now are Thunder Buddies.
Yeah. I definitely think Nice Cities are the team to beat and the top contender right now in the division. Yes, Thunder Buddies also have 1 loss, but Nice Cities they played more games, but they have 5. They're 5-1, right?
Yeah.
Even if Thunder Buddies go 2-0 in their next game, that's an if, right?
Yeah.
They'll be at the same record, and Nice Cities' victories have just been so impressive right now. I was gonna say I'd be shocked that the remaining final 4 teams in the division are not Nice Cities, Idaho, Thunder Buddies, and Jagerbomb. Like I think the top 4 and the bottom 4 has a big disconnect.
Yeah.
But if Master Chiefs find a way to make it into the playoffs, and which I believe they will, like if you're asking me now, are Master Chiefs making the playoffs?
I agree.
I say yes, and I'm not even hesitating.
Yeah.
They slide into the 6th seed. First round matchup right now would be Thunder Buddies, Master Chiefs. Or it would either be Master Chiefs, Thunder Buddies, or Master Chiefs, Idaho. Those would be the two. Like, obviously playing Idaho, they're going to lose that game because they can't beat Idaho. But had it not been Idaho or been like the same team, but they're not called Idaho, like that's a toss-up game. Yeah, Massachusetts could have the 6th seed, and if they're playing Jagerbomb, let's say Jagerbomb sneaks into that 3 spot, you're not saying that one team's like Massachusetts is going to score 40 points. Is the other team going to score more than 40 or not? That's
the question. Yeah.
So like the top 4 are not safe, like per se.
Oh,
like,
at all.
If you get a Pocket Rockets Marvel Spritz gang, it might be a slightly easier game. But like if Massachusetts slide into that final playoffs, which I think they will, that's a dangerous first round matchup, right?
Yeah.
So like you absolutely want that bye. Like the division races are heating up right now. The conference races are heating up right now, and it's looking it's gonna be Idaho or Thunder Buddies in the East. Nice TDs or Jagerbomb in the West. Each of those duos play against each other. At least once. I think Thunder Buddies have 2 games against Idaho remaining.
Thunder Buddies?
Yeah, I don't think they played Idaho yet, did they?
Yes, I think we played them at the beginning of the season. No, you're right.
So they have 2 games. So
2 games against Idaho, 1 game against.
And NXTs are still playing against Jagerbomb. So NXTs have the lower points again. So if they were to win that game, they'd probably have the tiebreaker if all things remain. So East and West are up for grabs, and I do think that the 2 teams that are going to win the conference, are going to be in the finals. Like my thing is that those teams are going to have to only win 1 game to make it to the finals. They're not going to have to like kill themselves before.
It's hard to argue, yeah. And the other teams are going to have a tough match in the first round, right?
Yeah.
Because like you said, no one wants to play Master Chiefs in the first round for sure. But like if you ask me, I don't want to play Spritz Gangs either. Because Spritz Gang is a team that's going to show up with a lot of aggressiveness, a lot of energy. They're going to scream up on the sideline. They're going to like and just make sure you show up big against Spritz Gang too. So like for sure, if you can get a bye week in the first round of the playoff in Division 2, you better go get it.
And just to add more weight to that, like top 2 seeds, if I didn't already, the quarterfinals are right before the semifinals. They're back to back.
Wow.
So those 2 teams that are already going to have that bye in the semifinals are going to just show up a little bit earlier, scout which team they're going to play against, and that team's going to be playing their second game back to back of Division 2. It might be like their 3rd or 4th game of the day, right?
For sure.
At that point, because I think the Division 2 quarters and semis are in the afternoon. So like winning your conference is to me the path to the finals.
Yeah, it's a must win. Yeah, it's a must.
So it's not like Division 1 where like in Division 1 it's like just make the playoffs and like it's 4 teams making the playoffs, semifinals, finals. Even if you make it in 4th, 3rd, 2nd, it doesn't really matter. I feel in Division 2 if you have a chance to make it, get that top spot, it's humongous. Like. And it's really fun that we split the division into 2 conferences. I find because it adds this wrinkle and this added like rivalry between like now Thunder Buddies in Idaho and then Nice Cities and Jagerbomb on the other side.
No, for sure. So yeah, looking forward for the remaining of the season for Division 2. We have 3 really, really good games coming up. Spritz Gang playing twice this weekend against Nice TDs and against Pocket Rockets, and then you have like a big game for Thunder Buddies coming off a 6-week bye week against Master Chiefs, who just lost another tight game at 5 p.m. to close the day on Saturday. So yeah, great division with a bunch of great teams that you don't know who's gonna come up at the top at the end, but pretty excited.
Yeah. Alrighty, Division 1.
Division 1. Let's get to it. 3 games in Division 1.
Yeah, we'll end with the one you played in.
Perfect.
Go through the other ones quickly because I didn't see it. I heard a bit about the Iron Wolves Holy Trollers game. Will threw a pick on his first play of the game, on his first throw of the game.
Yeah.
Then it just took 1 play for Max to Andrew, 5 yards, getting the touchdown, going for 1, up 7-0 within like less than a minute. Will throwing 2 other picks, but managing to get the win. Only 6 interceptions, 6 incompletions game. Pretty impressive. When you look at Max's stat line, 21 with 30, 200 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. Like, you think he for sure won the game, right?
You don't think. You're positive he won the game, yeah.
And look, that 1-point convert that he got on that first touchdown was the only convert. They lost by 1 point in this game.
Converts are big, guys. Converts are big. Willie throwing the ball to his main guy, Chris, that he didn't pick in his top 5.
He's more of a defender.
10 receptions, over 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. I don't know how he does it. For real, I don't know how he does it.
Which part?
Chris, all the parts. Like, I really don't get it. At his age, if I know I said it, and I will say it time and time again, if right now someone comes in with a contract, you can be half as talented as Chris at his age, I'm signing right now.
Then you can what?
Half as talented as Chris right now, but at the same age, I'll take it right now.
I honestly think at this point he's lying about his age and he's lying about his injuries.
I legit agree.
Like he's
lying about his injuries for sure. That we know. His age.
He's like probably just 25, 30 years old. He's putting on makeup, making him look a little older.
Chris, we're gonna have to see that
the ID.
That ID, please.
Yeah, because I get it. He's for sure banged up. Like I wasn't serious when I said I was lying about it, but like you can't. It's still recording. Don't worry.
Okay.
You can't be putting up these numbers and not be like at least 80% healthy, right? Like
yeah, for sure. And there's no way you're putting up those numbers and you're only running 5 yards hook either, right?
He's averaging 11 yards, over 11 yards a catch, right?
It's probably that 12 yards that Willie loves so much.
But when I reffed their game against Centurions a couple of weeks ago, it was that deep out. Like that deep out was just
always open.
I don't get it. Yeah, like
wow. But yeah,
Andrew balled out on this game, 8 for 95, 3 touchdowns. And he got a pick on defense. Manu 2 sacks in this game. Stanley getting a sack himself.
Dylan
looked
getting
to
a
be
pick.
the Andrew against Chris show on offense, eh?
Yeah.
Each with 3 touchdowns.
They must have loved that game, right?
Yeah.
They must have loved that game. They probably looked at the stats together after, complimenting each other. Dylan getting a pick, Sean Haney getting a pick, Andrew getting a pick. All those guys are ballers on defense for sure. And Max getting 8 tackles. The first thing Willie told me about that game is, I can't believe it. I won that game and I threw 3 interceptions. But yeah, Converse it came up huge in that game. They got one more than Holy Trollers, and that was the difference for sure. At the same time, like we talked about it also on our way to McDonald's, like Max threw no interceptions, but he got 3 turnovers.
Yes, and we were debating like a turnover on down is literally like an interception, right? It's just
for sure.
Minus the yardage that they return.
Yeah, it's a turnover.
Yeah,
for me, it's a turnover because most time than not, you tell also your defense to knock down the ball on 4th down.
Mm-hmm.
You're not asking them to pick it off. So So yes, it doesn't show on the stat line, and then yes, it looks pretty when you have 5 touchdowns, no interception. When you look at the play-by-play, having 3 turnovers on down and they had a punt also.
Yeah. And
it's big.
2 of Willie's interceptions were on 4th down. So like Will could have literally thrown the ball in the dirt at that point on those 2 4th downs. He would have 2 picks, but they would have been in the same situation.
Yeah, for sure.
Like his stat line would have showed up with 2 picks, but he would not have had. The only difference is that like if you turn the ball over on downs, your defense has a chance to redeem yourself.
Yeah.
Whereas when you throw a pick, the other team has an opportunity to score in that moment with the ball in their hands.
Yeah.
So like yes, an interception is worse than a turnover on downs, but it's not as far back as some people might think.
No, for sure. And but shout out to Willie because he had the ball with 3 minutes 15 left. He was down 5 points. He needed to score, and he needed to score with not a lot of time left on the clock. Because if you give that ball back to Max, you better bet that he's.
Yeah, we saw in the Outlaws Trollers game, you get the ball back with 20 seconds.
Exactly.
And you win the game, right?
Yeah, for sure. So. Shout out to Willie that usually he's not like an advocate for wasting time, and he doesn't like that, but he did it perfectly. He got the ball with 3:15 and he scored with 1 second left to his main guy DeMario Cooper. So shout out to DeMario also, who was the quarterback who was supposed to be the quarterback in that game. Willie told me he came in a little bit late. He saw that Willie was throwing. He saw that Willie was wanted to get back his pick that he just threw. So he let him be, and it worked out perfectly because he was a receiver, Willie was a quarterback, and Willie threw that ball to DeMario for a touchdown. The other way around, it would have been probably DeMario to Willie. So at the end of the day, it came out the same. But yeah, big win for Iron Wolves. We were talking about Iron Wolves recently.
Climbing up the standings, eh?
Yeah, and I told you, I said, would you be surprised if Iron Wolves ended the season in the 2nd seed? And I didn't even finish my sentence. And you said, yes, I would be surprised. Yeah, they're sitting right now at 3rd, and 3rd now in the division, 3-3. It was a big win for them.
I'd still be surprised.
I know.
Like, I have no doubt they're making the playoffs right now, but like, it would not be an Iron Wolves type of season. I think Billy would agree with me if they don't go back down at some point and then come back up. You know, like, like their peaks and valleys. They started with a valley. They're peaking right now, so the valley's coming right up. But it's good timing because it's going to come up now, and then they'll maybe peak right before the playoffs again, right?
For sure. No, for sure. But they have a couple of tough matches for the rest of the season. They're playing Holy Trollers twice before the end of the season, and Outlaws another time. They're also playing Centurion, where that's a team against who they struggle a lot.
Yeah. Well, they split against them this season.
Yeah, for sure. So that game is going to be huge. So okay, let's say again, same question. You have four teams right now in the playoffs, but you have Centurion, who's are 2-4 at the same record as Trollers. Are they missing the playoffs? Are Centurion missing the playoffs?
If I had to say right now who I think are missing the playoffs, I'd put my money on Centurions missing the playoffs. Yeah,
I agree. Let's say Centurion get in. Who's out?
Man, what's the Trollers record right now? 2-4.
2-4, and they're playing Outlaws next week.
Could have been next. Oh no, that's anybody's out.
Yeah, they're playing, and then they're playing Centurion, and twice are road to end the season. So those 4 games for Trollers, it's crazy to me, right? Because after week 4, Trollers they just beat the Gros Coq by 4 points. I still remember that game like it was yesterday.
No, they won by much more than 4 points.
No, they won 38-34 against Gros Coq.
Didn't they demolish them that game?
It probably felt like a demolishing because Andrew and Ashton screaming so much after the game and shit. No.
Yeah.
But anyway, after
38-24.
Oh, it's a 2. Sorry, guys. My bad. Yeah, 38-24. You're right. My bad. But I remember after that game, we all thought we were arguing if Trollers were favorites or not.
First game with Dylan on the team.
Yeah.
They're it's the way they beat Cook, who were probably the favorites at that time.
Yeah, they're on a 3-game losing streak right now.
Yeah, crazy. Since we had that conversation.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
I don't know how to explain it.
Me neither. And they have a big game against Outlaws next week. They're gonna have to step it up because Trollers are not. They cannot lay back right now. It's not like we're gonna make the playoffs and maybe we're gonna run the tables in the playoffs. They're gonna have to step it up right now because you don't want to come in the playoffs also par la peau des fesses and no, you want to come in hot and you want to make sure that you're ready for that first round matchup.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, if there's one division where you could come in not hot, it probably is this one. Because you only have to be hot for 2 games, and I feel that teams kind of streak in Division 1. You saw Arnold's record going 3-0, and now looking at Trollers
being
winning
2-1,
2 huge wins, and losing 3 in a row. So you only got to win 2 games in D1 come playoff time. I literally feel the 14 thing in the playoffs, they're all gonna have very close to 25% chance of winning the championship at that point.
I was exactly thinking about that before the show. Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be hard to pick up a clear favorite.
Yeah.
No, especially because those 2 matchups are going to be tough.
Yeah.
Regardless who you're playing.
Gros Coq Centurion. So I'm confused. Gros Coq's previous 2 games combined didn't even put up 50 points. You add the 2, I think they put up 25 and 20. 19 and 20. They didn't even put up 40 points in their 2 previous games combined. And we know Dom could go for 314 and 7 touchdowns every week. It's what is it? Do you guys just not feel like playing sometimes? Then you guys feel like playing? I know I've been saying very often that in D1 you just gotta make the playoffs. And who cares about the seeding? Mm-hmm. You win 2 games and all that. And Gros Coq showed that literally last fall, right, when they did just that, right? I don't get how they put up 55. I get how they put up 55, but it's it just further goes. How did you put up 39 points total in the last 2 games? And Dom was there. It's not as if they were missing their quarterback. What's the explanation? His ball distribution is crazy. Charles and Alexis each with 2 touchdowns. Vince leading the team in receptions with 6, but you have a bunch of guys at 5 and 4.
Brez getting 5 receptions, a touchdown, a 1-point convert. You have Boris getting only 2 receptions, but guess what? They got also a touchdown and he also got a 2-point convert.
Nicolas came with only 30 yards, but he gets 2 2-point converts, which in this game didn't show up as huge, but those 2-point converts are huge down the line, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Vincent Huneau on Centurion 16 catches.
Was he center, his snapper this game? Do you know?
I think he was, because last week he was snapping and Louis was at receiver, and I was wondering why. Maybe they did rock paper scissors before the game. Okay, you get 16 catches. You get 16 catches this week. You get 16 catches next week. 16 for 102. Yeah, I was curious. I don't think I brought up that week on the show when they played against Arnold's. I was curious to know why Louis wasn't snapping because he had that great chemistry with.
We'll try to ask them next week.
Yeah.
Maybe have an answer for the
they had
viewers.
Simon Piat show up this week, getting 6 catches, 3 of them going for touchdowns.
Wow.
I think it was his first game of the season. So if he gets added now, that could help them. I think he's arguably their best player overall, non-quarterback on this team. Wow, Etienne and Bryce combined for 21 tackles.
I know, I saw that. That's
what the
crazy.
hell?
Yeah, that's a lot of tackles. I think they were like, they had a bet for sure. They had a bet who finished with most tackles at the end of the game.
Nico seeing that probably doesn't like it. Nico probably doesn't like it.
And gotta shout out to Nicolas Paquin with 2 sacks. Nicolas is a guy that came into Gros Coq lineup a couple of seasons ago. He gelled with them so well. Sacking Gabriel is not easy.
Yeah, he gets the ball off quick.
Yeah, he lines up at like 26 yards behind his snapper. So shout out to him also. I think he's one of the better rusher in the division for sure, and he gets better every week also. We haven't seen his ceiling yet. But yeah, like a convincing win for Gros Coq. I remember right after the game, I asked Alexis if they played already. He said, yeah, go look at Darmstadt, and he only had like 3 incompletions. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Over 300 yards. And did he run? He also ran for a touchdown, so he had 8 total touchdowns with only 1 interception. That's the Dom that we saw in the past season, and that's the reason why Gros Coq won. I wouldn't be surprised, like you said, if Gros Coq gets into the playoff and Dom decides to put up those numbers in those 2 games and they go on and win the championship, because he can do it. When he's on, he's on.
Yeah, but the question I have is like, what happened the last 2 weeks? Because they also showed that they could really be off. Like if they're that off, they're not winning a championship again. And like, is it just because we wanted to chill and like we didn't really care and like we told ourselves let's just play for fun, ha ha ha. Like I don't think they're too competitive to do that. Like Dom hates losing. Like everyone hates losing, obviously, but I have like a question mark now. Like, what happened the last 2 games, and how do I know that's not going to happen the next 2 games or in the playoffs? Like, we know they could do this, and we know they could do that.
Yeah.
How do you know what they're going to show up with?
Yeah, for sure.
This game was actually not as. This game was actually a lot closer than I think the score seems. Because looking at the scoring summary, Gros Coq scored with a minute left in the first half to go up 5 points, and then Centurions got the ball and scored. And they're actually leading in the second half, 31-30.
Wow.
And then it was literally the Dom and Gros Coq show.
30-25 they were leading.
Well, at the start of the second half, the 31-30.
Oh, the start of the second half.
Yeah,
sorry.
Coq's were leading 30-25.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, my bad. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's...
And then after that, Dom decided that it was...
The game was not going to be close anymore.
Yeah, for sure. Centurion punting again, but at the same time... Yeah, the second half, you're down 6 with 8:29 left, but you just got sacked for -5, then incomplete. You got to punt, right? Or you tell yourself you don't punt and you just get the ball back faster.
Yeah, I guess, because then like they punted, Gros Coq scored, that kind of put the game away, right?
Yeah, because you haven't really stopped them before that, right? So why punt?
They did get a pick in this game. I don't know if it was early on or later.
No, Gros Coq scored on every drive before that.
The pick was at the end of the game?
Oh, no, the pick was on the first play. My bad, sorry. The pick was on the first drive of the game. But after that, Gros Coq scored on every drive, and then you decide to punt, down 6. I get that you trust your defense. I respect it. But, yeah, for me, it's tough. I think I would have went for it, and if not, well, you get the ball back, and you're still down 2 possessions. But whatever. Centurion, who are not in trouble because you still like control your destiny with the games that you have left. I think they're playing Gros Coq twice. Yeah, they're playing Gros Coq twice. They're playing Trollers once and playing Iron Wolves once. I think that game against Iron Wolves is going to be huge.
Are they playing Trollers?
Yeah, they're playing Trollers. Yeah, those 2 games against Trollers and Iron Wolves are going to be huge. I think they can make the playoffs going 2-2.
I mean, if they win out, they make the playoffs for sure. If they go 2-2, it's tough because like. It depends who they go. They definitely got to beat Trollers.
Yeah, I think if they go 2-2, but they win against Trollers and Iron Wolves, they're going to be in good shape.
It's going to depend, right? Because then, if Trollers win their if the Trollers go 3-1 and they only lose to Centurions, so it's tough. But so they do control their own fate in the sense that if they win out, they make the playoffs for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So
Want to talk to us about that Trollers Outlaws Classic?
yeah, it was a classic.
Yeah, it literally was a classic.
It was a classic. It was a lot of chirping going on, but respectfully, if I could say it that way, in a sense where like no one insulted no one. It was really like chirping between the lines. It was an intense game. Sean Haney flexed on us. He broke like 7 tackles. He came back, he broke us again, and then he went to score on. Max and Steve played nearly a perfect game. 6 incompletion for Max and only 8 for Steve. They both threw for the exact same amount of yards, 287. Max one less touchdown and 1 more interception. That was the difference, I believe, in that game. Gotta mention Marvin and Svetna with Ariel and Smuda not being there this week. They had to step up. They're the 2 main guy on offense when Ariel and Smuda are not there. And frick did they ball out. Marvin made 2 crazy catches.
I saw one of them.
Yeah, both of them. It was a copy paste. So if you saw one, you saw both of them. It was a one-hander that he grabbed like this on a post route. 2 touchdowns. He got 8 receptions for 120 yards almost. Svetna 8 reception, 84 yards, 3 touchdowns with the game-winning touchdown at the end of the game. Also got to shout out Dave. Dave is, for me, you know, when we talk about top heavy, and then you look at the other guys who are mostly role players. I feel Dave is the best role player in the whole league. He knows exactly what he has to do. When you're missing top guys, he can come in that spot and give you exactly what you need. 7 reception, 49 yards. He's averaging 7 yards a reception. You need a first down, go to Dave. His route running are perfect. Mm-hmm. Perfect. He's not the fastest. He's not the tallest. But on those tight throws, sideline, he has to tiptoe. You know he's going to get that ball. So I feel like he had a big game, even though Marvin and Svetna led the way. Dave was right there behind them. Brady came on big with a 1-point cover and 4 receptions also. We played both ways, except for Tyler, who was rushing, and Steve, who was throwing. But all those guys, with myself included, we
didn't get off the field.
We didn't get off the field, so it wasn't easy. But we stuck together at the end of the game. Trollers took a lead with 19 seconds left. We were kind of losing it on the refs also, especially myself. And Steve took a big timeout to calm ourselves down. And we got the ball back with 19 seconds and 2 timeouts. It's hard to say that it was too much time. Yeah. Because, like, if you give me that situation any week, I'll take it, right? Mm-hmm. 19 seconds, 2 timeout. I trust my defense every week. But Steve and Svetna came in clutch. We talked about it earlier. When you're a big-time player in big-time moments, you ask for the ball. Yeah. And that's exactly what Svetna did. He came into the huddle and he told Steve, just throw it up. I'm going to catch it. And he did that on the second to last play to set us up in the red zone. He made a big catch on top of Haney and I think it was Vinny, and then he caught a big touchdown over Haney to win the game. A lot of trash talk going on there, but after the whistle, everybody hugged and everybody said it was a great game because those games were really fun to play.
Is Vinny still getting taller? He looked taller to me this past weekend.
I think he is. I dabbed him up at the beginning of the game and like we like hugged, and my face was like on his chest. And
before he used to be like at the bottom of his chin.
Before he was like I had to move my head and he had to move his. Bro, I feel like he was my dad and I was hugging and I was like 12 again. It was crazy, but yes,
like he looked taller to me.
He's getting taller. He's getting taller for sure. No, he's getting taller and he's getting better also because he balled the heck out in that game. He also got an interception on defense. Gotta shout out Trollers on some players. Sean balled out 2 touchdowns, 1 2-point convert. I mentioned before he broke
I saw that. I literally saw that. I told him after, I'm like, yo, you caught the ball, you had like 3 or 4 guys between you in the end zone, and like you literally made each and every one of them miss. Yeah. Like you literally went through each and every one of them. Yeah, like they had him squared up. Each one had him like in front, put the hands, get the tackle.
Yeah. Manu getting 7 reception. I feel like Manu got the exact type of game that Dave had for Outlaws, but he had it for Trollers. Ashton got a touchdown, a 1-point convert, a 2-point convert, and when you look at Andrew's stat line, He had 2 receptions, 13 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah.
But I swear to God, on defense, we were only thinking about Andrew. Where's Andrew? How do we play Andrew? Shoot on Andrew on all hooks. Because if Andrew catches a 3-yard hook, he can take it to the house.
Yeah.
And he also knew that. He let us know. He called it a couple of times. They were on me. That's why you were all alone. And he was right. He's a really, 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 really tough player to play against. Because you have to think about him all the time.
It's so entertaining though, eh?
Yeah, I love it. I really love it. And it was really funny because at the end of the game when they scored to get up in the score with only 19 seconds left, I really had like that face where I was mad and didn't want to talk to anybody. And I swear to God, like,
you were still laughing?
Beside of my wife who like could get me out of that zone, I really thought no one could get me out of that. Andrew started talking to me and I started laughing like a dumbass because it was so funny. He's like, look at Jafari's face. He's so mad at it. And I started laughing like a dumbass. And him and Ashton got right back into it with Andrew. And they were like, oh, the podcast's going to be good this week. And they were right. The podcast is going to be good this week because Outlaws got the win. But no, seriously, I love playing those games. I really, really love playing those games. It was a really, really fun game to play.
We're actually really lucky because we don't even need to have Andrew mic'd up. Like, it's a microphone that
we should do it.
But we don't need to have a mic up. We hear everything he's saying anyway.
Yeah, I know, but we should legit do it. I feel like if we do a mic up with Andrew, we get more views than like the highlight clip and the podcast together. That's for sure.
No, I'm saying if
we're gonna go viral.
I'm saying if you're watching the game, you hear what he's saying, right?
Yeah, I know, but we need that thing like on YouTube for life. We need to keep those things. We're gonna try to find a way, Andrew, to do that because that would be free entertainment. I would pay to have that for sure. John, let me know if you need me to pay for that little mic thing. We'll do it. But really good game, and we're gonna have the trilogy next week. Outlaws, Trollers again, and it's gonna be a must-win for Trollers for sure.
Who's the team to beat in Division 1?
I don't like that question.
Why?
Because you know the saying like any given Sunday,
yeah.
But in that case it's any given Saturday.
Yeah,
that's how I feel about Division 1.
I agree, but if you had to pick one team right now that you say is like so this is the end of today. We're going to the playoffs next week. There's not a huge favorite. We're gonna agree with that. Everything we said I think goes to show that. But like, who's the favorite right now?
I'm gonna go with Gros Coq again.
Really?
Yes, because the reason why, and it's really easy for me to say that, the 3 losses that Gros Coq have, I don't think that the other team beat them. I really feel Gros Coq lost that game, and it's not to take credit away from Trollers or Iron Wolves or even Outlaws. I just really feel that Gros Coq didn't play their best game. I don't think that the other team outplayed them. I just feel like Gros Coq didn't show up. And if Gros Coq shows up, there's not a lot of teams.
It's also a big if, though.
It's a big if.
Right now.
I know it's a big if, and I agree with you. And in their last 5 games, they only have 2 wins, but they're the defending champ. When you're the defending champ, it's always the team to beat for me.
Yeah, like I could agree with that if they had maybe 2 losses, maybe 1, but like literally 3 out of their 7 games have been losses. Like
they're still second in the division.
Yeah, well, that just goes. First of all, the Division 1, the parity has never been
crazy.
This close. Like,
yeah.
5-2 is the first place team, 2-4 is the last place team. Like,
yeah.
I think anyone could finish first at the. Like,
so
anyone could finish first. Like, Centurions still have a chance to finish first in Division 1 right now.
Mm-hmm.
But the back-to-back Outlaws wins against Trollers, I feel, and the 3 wins in a row right now have kind of elevated them to the Outlaws football we're more accustomed to, right?
Mm-hmm.
I still think it's 1A, 1B between Outlaws and Gros Coq.
Yeah, it's hard to argue, yeah. But at the same time, like if Trollers come in next week and they beat Outlaws by a big margin, all that we said right now goes out the window, right? It's a big if again, but
also Outlaws would be 2-1 against them.
Yeah, I know, but you're as good as the last game you played, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, Division 1, it's if there's like one division where you can ask yourself that question, it's Division 1. It's really, really, really any given Saturday. It's any given Saturday. Like look at next week, you have Trollers, Outlaws, you have Gros Coq, Centurion, you have Outlaws, Iron Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's not a clear favorite in any of those games. Like yes, there's a favorite, but there's not a clear favorite. Like I wouldn't bet my money on Outlaws against Trollers. I wouldn't bet my money on Colcac against Centurion. And I wouldn't bet my money.
Yeah.
Like, Iron Wolves just came out a big win against the same Trollers that Outlaws win. They're 3 wins in a row right now. Like, Iron Wolves can easily beat Outlaws. Easily beat Outlaws. And you gotta love that. You really gotta love that. Especially when Outlaws are gonna play their second game in. Oh man, I think I gave you a. I didn't see I was playing 2 games.
Yeah.
Okay, you saw it though, right? Okay,
Yeah.
my bad. We're talking about ref schedule. Sorry.
Oh, good. Yeah. No, Division 1's clearly up in the air, right?
Yeah, for sure. And you gotta love it.
Is that it for the show?
Yeah, I think that's it. Without Willie, it's a lot faster. You said at the beginning of the show.
Bold predictions?
Bold prediction. I forgot bold predictions. Let's go. Okay, I have one.
What division are you doing so I can do another one?
3.
Okay. What division do you want me to do?
Let's go 4. Let's give love to our lower divisions this week. So I asked Willie this week, at this point, would it be bold to just say Average Joes are losing? And he said no. And I think I agree with that.
I think it'd be bold to say, but not bold enough for the show.
Exactly.
Like,
that's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Perfect.
Wow, really? That's exactly what he said?
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. So we agree with that, right? But with Red Cats having lost their last 2 games, I believe. Yep. And with Average Joes blowing everybody out of the water, that's my BP for the week. Red Cats are going to beat Average Joes. And Red Cats are going to beat Average Joes by scoring more than 50.
Okay.
And with Average Joes scoring less than 25.
So Red Cats better call a timeout at the end of the game, score more than that.
Yeah, exactly. And you're allowed to do it. And if I'm reffing you and
you get an extra one.
You get an extra timeout. Exactly. So yeah, Red Cats beating Average Joes by a score of 50 plus on offense and 25 less on defense.
Yeah. That is bold.
That is bold, huh? There you go.
I got one for D4.
Okay.
So Sooners 45 are playing Idaho. Hopefully Diego shows up in this game because my bold prediction involves him.
I don't think Diego's going to miss 2 games in a row. It's impossible.
So Diego has 4 rushing touchdowns on the year. And let's look at our boy Dave. David has 1. He's been running a lot less because he's been passing a lot more. These 2 teams are sitting at 3 and 4, both with only 2 losses. So safe to say it's a huge game for both of them. I'm gonna say both these quarterbacks combine for 16 touchdowns and 0 interceptions, and over 600 total yards. So, like, let's say they each throw 250 yards, 6 touchdowns, rush for 2 extra touchdowns under 50 yards. It could happen. And throw 0 interceptions in the process.
Also. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm giving myself a little bit of leeway here by saying 16 total touchdowns and 600 total yards and no turnovers. Turnovers on down are okay.
Wow.
Turnover on downs are okay, though.
Okay. I agree with that.
Bold enough?
That's super bold.
That's it, folks?
Yeah, that's it for this week.
Anything else you want to do?
Willie, we miss you already.
Hope you're having fun in Miami.
Yeah, come back tan, come back ready to go.
I'm sure you'd like this, because it's like almost like the Miami funky colors there.
Yeah.
Like, you guys did something so cool when I'm not on the show. If Willie would have like offered to do it, I would have been like, no, it's...
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. But no, for sure. Be there ready Saturday, boys and girls, and show up to ball out. Playoffs are coming soon, so you better get your move going pretty fast. Don't forget what Terry said at the beginning of the show. Make sure you have your game for playoffs. And if you have any questions, the league is there to answer them. You want something else? Be nice to the refs. I'm allowing myself to say that because it's nice to the refs that last weekend, but I'm going to try to be better and be nice to each other.
Stay safe, guys. See you on Saturday.